Evening all. Welcome to it's actually quite warm. Evening, Peter. Something special today. It's actually reasonably warm in Evesham today. Yesterday, especially last night, absolutely freezing. So today we're joined by Peter. It's going to be something a little bit different. We're going to talk about obviously kit cars, what Peter has been up to, what he's now up to, what he's done in the past. So yeah, Peter, just say hello and introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Hello, everybody. I'm Peter. I'm a car enthusiast, petrol head, DIY maker of everything I can, and repair and fix myself. It's just my sort of ethos of life. A little bit you can hear from my accent. So I'm from the south, from South Africa. I grew up there, did many projects with my dad back in South Africa. Growing up, sort of tinkering on things, tinkering on cars. We actually had a V6 swapped T25 VW transporter growing up that towed the caravan all over the place. So from young, I've had this sort of thing for revvy engines and engine noises and things from a very young child.
So you've been around cars for ages then, haven't you?
You're from ages, yep.
Yeah. You're into your low cost as well. So carry on.
So into all low cost, moved to the UK, been here 16 or so years, and I'm a teacher at a secondary school in Coventry, which we will talk a bit about later on. And in that time, sort of got into sort of model airplanes for a bit, and then through that,
me and my boys did. I've still got a load in the garage and quadcopters as well. Yeah, brilliant fun.
Got a bunch of airplanes as well that I don't fly. I'm not in a flying club actively at the minute. The cars have sort of taken over from that. And then that did actually lead to the build an airplane project, build a plane.
I was going to ask you about your aeroplane, because you've not just built cars, have you? You've actually built an aeroplane that actually flies and got registered.
Registration GEGCA. Still actively flies, a 2-seater Microlight. So it was a project at school sponsored by Boeing originally. So 2011 to 2016, 2017, around there. So it was a 5-year project. We built an airplane at school in the classroom next door to the room I normally teach in. It's 2-seater Microlight.
Yeah, you're frozen a little bit there, Peter. So see if you can come back in. I'll give you a couple of seconds.
It has an Australian Jabiru engine in it. So we sort of joked there used to be the international project, an American kit built in a British school with an Australian engine led by a South African teacher. It was quite a sort of joke at the time, but it was a great project. Lasted 5 years, 33 or so students, about 12 members of staff, and fully legal flying Microlight 2-seater aircraft. Flew from Coventry, and it now resides up north with its new owner.
Brilliant. And the registration number, I think, wasn't it the registration number of the school?
Yes, of the school, EGCA. That's one of the really cool things about aircraft. Yeah, so the aircraft themselves can actually be registered with whatever 4 codes, 4 digits or letters that you want.
As long as they've not been taken. Yeah, as long as they've not been taken.
Yeah. So that was one of the really nice things. So we could do that. It was a great project, and that's what kind of led me. So the Build a Plane project finished in sort of 2017. The airplane was sold. All the students that were involved had the opportunity to fly in it, students and staff.
Wow.
So half an hour flight each around Coventry. And we then did a few air shows and things after that. And after that, I was like, well, what am I doing now? I need to have a project.
This is why I love what you're doing, because we spoke about Ron Champion with Ron Champion. I did O-level engineering at school, and it was proper engineering and technical drawing, and it was proper hands-on. You've got a milling machine, you've got a drilling machine. We made a steam engine. I made a little vice, and it was really teaching me how to make things. Where you look at schools nowadays, and we don't have those kind of courses on the curriculum. So people coming out of schools these days don't know how to build anything. They don't know how to make things. They don't know how to make a car. So I loved for me, if I was a schoolboy or whatever at school, I would have loved to go and build a plane.
Yeah.
That'll be the first course I would have been enrolled on. Never mind about maths or English. I want to go in and build a plane. Yeah.
We had so some of the siblings, the older siblings of students, some of them actually signed up for Build a Sports Car because their older siblings were actually involved with Build a Plane. And there is one particular student who was too young to join Build a Plane, and then he left school before Build a Sports Car came along. So I saw him a little while ago, and he went, "I can't believe it! I've missed both these projects. I was too young, then too old." But after Build a Plane finished, I was talking to the missus, and I said, "Oh, but don't know what to do. I've got this sort of because it kept me busy. I'd probably spend."
You're frozen a little bit there, mate, as well. So just hang on a minute.
And so when that finished, I built a garage at the end of the garden, the old house, a sort of 30 square meter garage, double garage, and I was going to put model airplanes in it, and then started talking to a friend about kit cars, and I was going to look at the MEV Exocet or the GBS Zero at the time.
Yeah, and the MK, yeah.
MK, and I needed a donor, so Sunday afternoon auction. There was an MX-5 locally, and the missus actually came up to the garage and said, "There's 10 minutes left on that auction. Do you want to bid on it?" And I went, "Oh, okay." And put a bid in. It was at £120, and I wasn't going to let it go for £120. So put a bid in. 300 and something pound later, I was the winner of a red 1.6 MX-5 that was in a very rusty state. So I then proceeded to leave the model airplanes in the loft, start taking this MX-5 apart, and it didn't land up being a donor for a kit car. It landed up being a full nut and bolt rebuild. I hadn't done much welding on thin sheet metal and sort of MIG welding, so had to sort of I go to the University of YouTube. How do you MIG weld properly on thin sheet metal? Practice that, learned that. So I've then put an arch in the car, did some floor bits, front and back. I put on a rotisserie. I stripped the MX-5 completely to bits, put onto a rotisserie, and then rebuilt it, resprayed it, polished it, resprayed it, lovely finish, and then got it MOT'd and back on the road. And then proceeded to start doing auto solos. So I then did auto solos for a couple of years, and then lockdown happened, and during lockdown again I got bored and decided to 1.8 swap it, and then competed in Class D of my local car club. Competed on that and won Class D. I think it might have been 2021, something 2022. I can't remember now. Did really well with the 1.8 swap, but then again I wanted some more power. So I then V6 swapped it. So I got in touch with a company called Crap Engineering. It's exactly as it sounds.
I was going to say, I know the companies, from the name, obviously. Yeah, and great company though, great company. Never mind name.
Great company. Yeah, Claire's great. My hat's off to Claire for putting up with me because I went over to Claire and I said, I don't want to put a KL in this. I want to put a Honda V6 in this MX-5. And about it wasn't even 8 months later from the initial conversation to me driving the car to Claire's and actually stopping there, going, here we are, V6 swap done. With all the engineering that goes with that, bell housing adapters, flywheel, intake, exhaust, you name it, coolant, everything, every single bit that goes onto an engine, nothing would bolt or line up with MX-5 based stuff.
Not going to be standard. Did you change the rear diff or?
So
the MX-5 diff are quite strong, aren't they? They can handle quite a bit of power.
Yep. So I've got the standard 5-speed gearbox in it, which because it hasn't got a crazy torque curve. The torque curve is quite flat. It produced a lot of torque from low down, but it's quite sympathetic to the gearbox. So I'm on standard 5-speed gearbox. I've got a limited slip diff in it, the Fuji diff, which was rebuilt by a company in Northern Ireland. They specialize in rebuilding those. And it locks up quite nicely. The diff, it's a lovely motor. So that was the MX-5, which I absolutely love. It's my favorite car. And then again, I get bored. It's like, what am I going to do next? So I
because you're building a low cost as well, aren't you? At home?
Yes, that's right. So that's where the low cost came along. So whilst I was waiting for the school side of things to come along, which we'll talk about, I was like, I get bored. I get bored easily with stuff. So I was looking on the local socials, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, and up popped this low cost chassis which somebody had started. got as far as they could. They needed some dimensions which were missing from the Saturn mods because it uses an MX5 as a donor with the running gear.
Is
So
that the Voodoo kit was
that's it. So you
MX5, specifically MX5, but was that, but was yours based on the Ron Champion? I know you've met Ron Champion, which we'll come on to,
right.
but yeah.
So it's based on the second book, or the Haynes version. It was the second version after Ron Champion's original one, so slightly wider chassis, and instead of using the Sierra as the main donor, they've redrawn mainly the rear end to accommodate the MX5 differential.
The
So
MX5 rear diff,
there's two versions of the plans. There's the Saturn cars plans, which mine was started on, and then there's the Voodoo ones, which have the Voodoo ones seem to have slightly better dimensioning and things on the plan. So I've got to get my rear wishbones is the thing where the Saturn ones were limited in, there was some information missing. So I've sorted that now. I've got the dimensions I need. I'm going to go with the Voodoo rear wishbones. I've got the front ones sorted now, so it'll be a case of getting all of these things bit by bit. But now I quite like this because I've got something to sort of bite off a little bit at a time, which is quite nice. That's sort of project I was looking for. Like the Build a Plane project was at school, you'd complete various aspects of the aircraft.
I keep coming to this back to this build a plane. You don't just wake up in the morning and think I'm going to build a plane. So how did that come about? It just, I mean, you must have had funding for that as well.
Yes, so that was the Build a Plane project was funded by Boeing, and they had six in the country. I think there's over 20 students build a plane projects across the UK. Some of them are universities. So there's a load. There's a number of them with universities. I'm in contact with a number of the guys that are still that follow them on Facebook. They still, it's one of the Birmingham universities. One of them has got an aircraft in at the minute that students are actually building. But ours came about weirdly. One of the local schools to us turned the project down. They were offered first dibs in Coventry on building an airplane, and they turned it down. And they came to us as a second option, and they only had to ask me once.
I was going to say, you can't turn that down.
So I had no clue what we were going to build. They just said, "Would you like to build an airplane?" I thought they were talking about a model airplane. I've got loads of those. But they then said, "No, proper airplane." I went, like a Microlight, and they went, "Yes." I went, "Wow, okay." So we had a Light Aircraft Association LAA inspector, Martin, a very, very, very lovely gentleman.
I know it's very strict on inspection. You've got to use all the right material, all the right bolts. You've got to know what you're doing. With
I suppose like any project with students, you lose bits and pieces. And this isn't a case of I can just go on eBay or go down to B&Q to buy a nut or bolt.
I'll nip down to Halfords. I need a couple of crimps and a couple of bolts. That's not going to happen. No, they have to be
aviation grade.
Tensile steel, aviation grade.
They had these gold galvanized bolts, all Imperial as well. So everything was Imperial on the airplane.
Really? I didn't know that. Yeah.
And then all stainless steel rivets. And we had this anti-corrosive stuff you had to put between where you had stainless steel or aluminium meeting, anything like that, to stop the sort of dissimilar metals that sort of corrosion that happens. So we had quite a bit of that to look at and keep an eye on all the time. But it was a successful project. It worked really well, and that's kind of what sort of developed me and led me to where we are today. And even the school itself, I think that Build a Plane project was there aren't many people about that can say they've built an aircraft at school with students that has successfully flown.
Exactly. And for a student as well, when they're going for a job, whether they're going into mechanical engineering or whatever, to put that on your CV, even though even if you just left school, look, I was at this school, I've built a plane, I can do this, I can make things. That's going to be a great plus, and it's what we are so lacking in schools at the moment. In my opinion,
One of the students that was involved, he actually had that exact scenario happen. He went for his interview with an automotive company. I won't share his name or the company, he learned during the interview. They sort of said, "You've built an airplane on your CV," and he went, "Yes," and they were like, "What do you mean?" And he started explaining it to them, and his entire interview was literally just around the aircraft.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they offered him the apprenticeship. He did a four-year apprenticeship, a degree level version, which I'm a big advocate for apprenticeships. People can
Yes.
they can get an apprenticeship. He went to university. He's got a degree out of it, and he's got a job out of it now. I'm still in contact. He's one of my friends now because he's been out of school probably 6 or 7 years now,
Yeah.
and it's changed his life. The sort of opportunities that are available to him going through this route, and by being part of this project in school. So this hands-on, learn these different skills, and it's very, very varied. We had some students that just wanted to do the media side of things. Some of them just wanted to do inventory. I mean, the aircraft had thousands of parts, and like you said, it's a very stringent system.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
the inspections and things, you can't break down when you're 5,000 feet in the air. You can't pull over.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
got a
don't
bit of
want,
a
you don't want a bolt coming loose,
no,
especially if it's not the wing bolt.
yeah. So you got a bit of a rattle here. Well, let me pull over and see where the rattle's coming from. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah. Just get a spanner out. You haven't got time to do that, as you say,
No,
when you're 3,000 foot in the air. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, literally, hats off to you for the
Thank you.
work that you're doing, bringing engineering back into schools.
Yeah.
As I keep harping on
Uh,
about this.
yeah, yeah. We've done quite well at our school with engineering, and we're actually looking at level 3 engineering at the minute as well. But we've got a very strong cohort of level 2, so sort of GCSE grade or GCSE level.
Which
So
is
we've
what
got
I did. Yeah.
yeah, so we've got two engineering groups in year 11 and two in year 10. We also have a vocational construction course where we teach. It's one of the courses I teach as well, teaching woodwork, some electrics, plumbing. So these hands-on skills. So not all of the students want to be engineers. Some of them want to go into trades and into construction. So I'm trying to do my bit for these young people that and to sort of change their lives, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I give them some what I call basic build skills.
Yeah, is this the
But
skills I
not
think that are lacking these days? Yeah, not just a mobile
yeah,
phone in your hand. I think
no, no,
that's the
yeah.
thing.
I mean, both my boys, I won't mention which schools they went to. Great schools, they're getting great results, but it was not engineering related. They weren't making things, but I got them involved, which is why I was always going to have a kit car. But any work that needed, well, we had bikes as well before that. I bought him a little moped and things like that. But any work that needed doing on his moped or with the bikes or the kit car, I got them to do it. I knew how to do it. And I thought, well, there's no point in me doing it. I'd rather teach you. So I'd tell them what needs doing. I'd supervise them, obviously, and just let them get on with it. And I bought them a socket set and toolkit and their own toolkit. They took to it like a duck to water and absolutely loved it. But my eldest became certainly at sixth form college when he got his car. A lot of the other students had cars as well. He ended up becoming the go-to person. If a person had something wrong with their car, they would go and ask Felix.
Yep.
And he was swapping. He was changing disc pads for them and just basic stuff, disc brakes and all that kind of thing for them. He even showed what one guy got a flat tire and he in the car park. He did not know how to jack up the car.
Yeah,
and you can laugh about that, but it's basic skills that he was teaching. Brilliant.
I get that all the time at school. Just on Friday afternoon, I jump started a car because of the cold weather. The battery had decided it didn't want to be a battery anymore.
Give up.
Give up. And so I had that. I always carry jump leads and tools in my van. And all my cars have got toolboxes. There's the basics that you always need. And I always have a pump in my boot. Those people come to me, have you got a pump? And I'm going, I'll always have a pump in the boot. And it's that type of thing. And then I give them the pump and they go, I don't know how to pump it.
What do I do with
this? But then what I like to do is actually show them how to use it.
And let them do it. I remember I was working down in Shroud at the time and I'd nipped out for a sandwich to a garage. And I could see it was a young woman. She was where the air machine was, trying to pump up tyres or whatever. And I could see she was struggling. And before I went and bought my sandwich, I said, "You were right." She said, "Yeah." She said, "I put my money in. I'm trying to pump up this tyre. What do I do?" And I said, "Well, first of all, you need to know what pressure do you want it at. And she's like, well, I don't know. I said, well, open up your filler cap. Normally so either on your filler cap, isn't it? It will tell you what pressure, or on the inside of the door. I said, open your filler cap, and it was on there. I said, okay, you need, I don't know, whatever it was, 30 psi, 32 psi. I said, you need to press this button here, put it to psi, and then get it up to 32, and then you press this thing on, and it will start inflating. It was well flat, by the way, and it will start inflating. I said, oh, okay, great. So I watched her do it. She seemed to be doing okay. Went in, bought me sandwich. When I came out, I could still see her struggling. And what she'd done, she hadn't pressed the nozzle on hard enough.
Okay.
So all it had done was let out even more air. Yeah, and it was completely flat. So I didn't explain. I didn't laugh. I said, look, I said, when you do this, you need to push it on quite hard, and you'll hear the machine going as it's inflated, just to make sure it's pumped up. And anyway, I did wait in the car until she got it sorted, and off she went. I should have asked her out on a date. Actually, she was quite attractive, but I didn't get the chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love. And clearly you do, Peter. You just love explaining to people how to build things, how to make things, and just teaching them basic skills.
I a student. Why are you teaching us? I said, well, because I enjoy my job. They said, but with your skills, he said to me, but with your skills, you don't need to be a teacher. You could do anything else. And I said, because I enjoy my job. So I do enjoy what I do.
Yes.
I could probably apply my engineering skills and background in problem solving. I do quite sort of look at things with a different mindset sometimes and come up with nice solutions, I think. But I said, I couldn't do that all the time. I'd probably get bored. I get bored easily. So I think that's what I love about teaching, is no day is the same as the previous. And there's always something new, and we're always learning all the time. So there's always something new for us to learn. And to try and make education better.
And I think it's also seeing how I think you dropped out there. Let's just see if you come back in. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. You're back again, Peter. You dropped out a little bit there. Don't worry about it. We'll edit that down in the edit. But yeah, we were talking about the students and how you love your job and blah blah blah. I've got a twin sister actually, and she's a teaching assistant, and she absolutely loves her job. Not brilliantly paid. Teachers' jobs generally aren't great, but she just loves seeing how bringing on the students, teaching them things. And she got 2 lovely cards from 2 of them as well. Okay. And it just said, oh, dear Julie, you're a fantastic teacher. Thank you. And that probably that makes your day more than anything else. Just getting the thanks for what you're doing, I think.
Yeah, we do get that, especially on like results day, your GCSE and A-level groups.
Yes.
Then they appreciate everything when they open that envelope, and they sort of see the grade that they've been working all year to get. That sort of appreciation, you can just see on their face. They come across, say thank you. Then you know your job's done for the year.
Yes.
And then 2 weeks later you're back in school and you do it all over again.
You're starting off with new students, and it's great. I mean, as I say, my sister, my twin sister, she loves her job. Just seeing how the students come on, and they go from quite shy people. I mean, as you know, Peter, you get a complete mix of people in school. Some are quite shy, some are quite extrovert, some don't want to do anything, some are really keen, and it's just gauging their levels and bringing them on, I guess. And brilliant work that you teachers do. Excellent.
Yeah,
you've got now your next project on, haven't you, at Emesford Grange with your it's MEV build, isn't it? Tell us about that, and how you came about deciding on an MEV, and then we'll talk more about your fundraising and help that you need.
So we sort of so with me having done the build a plane project and then building and modifying MX5, I was
You
I was,
actually,
I was,
I forgot to mention, you actually built a car racing simulator in between as
yes,
well, didn't you?
yes.
Yeah.
So we've
Sorry.
got one of those. That's great fun. Yeah, I'll get onto that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so we sort of I do all these projects, or since Build a Plane, I did loads of projects outside of school, personal projects, which I then shared with students. And some of them would say to me, "But sir, why can't we build a car in school?" So that's sort of what planted the seed. I thought, we
That's
did,
what keyed it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the big thing was about funding was the big issue. So, um,
You got
with the,
some. I think
yeah,
you got some funding from the
yep.
school, but you've
So
not
the,
got
the
it
school,
all. Yeah.
yeah. So the school paid for the garage, and they've paid for the basic MEV kit. Um, and then they paid for the donor MX5, and then the rest we've got to look through fundraising and sponsorship and donations. So we've done okay. I'm quite pleased with some of the responses we've had, and it's not looking too bad at all really. But yeah, the kit itself. When you asked how did we land up with the MEV, we wanted something that would use the most of the MX5 donor car.
For
And
cost,
yeah,
basically. Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I contacted. I've been in touch with MK. I've been in touch with Richard at GBS,
At
and then
GBS.
yeah, and then Stuart at MEV, as well as Raptor Sports Cars up in Scotland. Had
Yes.
a great conversation with, I can't remember the gentleman's name at the minute. Great conversation.
Andrew
Yeah,
Entwistle at
yeah,
Raptor.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and he actually worked in rugby for many years, so just down the road from us, and he was quite keen to support us. But at the end of the day, it always comes down to that brass tacks. What is it going to cost? And for us, the big thing was where we're going to be at budget wise. What is the cost? So the MEV, with it using the most MX5 bits, I think is where the cost saving comes in. So it's the
Yes.
most cost effective kit in the UK, um, and it can get us onto the road or get us into a car and get us into a project with students. Um, if we if the MEV kit wasn't available, we wouldn't have started yet. We'd probably still be fundraising for another 12 months or waiting for budgets and things like that. So
Yes.
it,
Yes.
it did
Because
allow us to,
school budgets are really tight. I know from what my
yeah,
sister said.
yeah,
There's no funding really, no huge funding really available, which is a shame, especially when it's courses like yours, engineering.
yeah,
I know funding's tight in all schools.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had so the head teacher then agreed to, yeah, thank you very much to her and everyone behind the scenes that made those things happen. But yeah, we had a garage built at school as well as getting this kit ordered. So the rest we've then sorted. Part of it we wanted to do fundraising, so we've actually got a racing simulator. And I'll send you some pics at the end of the conversation.
Oh,
You can then
definitely,
upload.
definitely. Well, yeah,
But
we'll have those. We'll have those into the video. Yeah,
yeah,
I have seen a couple of pictures.
yeah. So we've got this racing simulator in my classroom. It's great fun. Um, it's so it uses a Logitech steering wheel, and we built it. The students supported on the build. We had material sponsored for that. So
And
a few,
students built that as well and got
yeah,
involved in all the IT. Well, say IT.
um,
It's
with
quite reasonably technical. Yeah.
yeah, they got involved with parts of it, not the full thing. I've got a fantastic technician that works with me in design technology. So he sort of we wanted to have it ready for the open evening. That was back in September. So we had a bit of
Wow.
a time constraint. We had about 2.5 weeks. So it would have been nice to give it to the students completely. We actually have a second lot of kit and materials to build a second one, but storage is the issue. So that
Right.
one
Right.
there, when we get to that stage where the kit car project's rolling quite nicely, then I'll introduce that as a project for students only, where they've then got to engineer and design the simulator. So the one we've got at
Yes.
school, it's on casters. It plugs into the big 80-inch screen in the front of my classroom, so it gives you quite a nice driving experience.
Yeah.
Um, a really big screen, and we then had bucket seats sponsored. So a lot of the actual the racing simulator, we had some bucket seats sponsored. We had some funding from the Royal Academy of Engineering as one of our STEM projects. Um,
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
and then we had they've been supporting us the last 4 years with the grants, getting extra machinery and things. So we've got milling machines and lathes and things we've bought as a result of their funding from the Royal Academy of Engineering. So yeah, I'm really pleased with their support for us in schools.
It's
Um,
kind of
so
it's kind of like what I almost call a roller coaster, because you see a lot of these people. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm going to raise funds for this,
Yeah.
and you think, a bit of a chancer. But when you look at your history and what you've done, it's very clear that this is a serious project. You know, you built a plane, you built all the kit cars, you built a racing simulator. You're now building this MEV. It's not a fly-by-night operation. So, and I get the whole fact that you know, if people wanted to sponsor something, you've got to have some history behind you. You clearly have. It's a great. You're actually making a difference to students' lives as well.
Yes. We found the sponsorship at the start of the academic year, so back in September, was a little bit slow at the start. But once we got the MX-5 donor car into the garage, we started building sort of a weekly blog. I could then contact companies saying, here are some photos of work the students have done. We actually then started getting responses back. So as it goes, I think we probably, if we get the word out and let everybody know what we're doing, we're hoping to get to the Kit Fest with you guys later this year, 4th to the 6th of April. We also got so Stuart from MEV's invited us to put our build on the stall at the NEC at the Classic Motor Show it'll be this year. Classic Motor Show. It's November-ish, I think it is. So the plan is to get the car rolling. We've got the chassis. We took delivery of that sort of mid to late November last year, and we just finished off stripping the donor car. So with the weather at the minute, we've been in the classroom this last week looking at the wiring loom and relabeling and tidying things up. But then as soon as it's a bit warmer, we'll be back in the garage, and we're going to start working on the actual kit,
Brilliant.
Getting it assembled and getting it rolling.
Yeah, I've just bought your. I don't know if you can see it on your.
Yep, I can see it.
I've just bought your GoFundMe page here.
Yes.
I mean, you're only looking for £3,000, and that's just basically. I mean, if you go to the GoFundMe page, you can see what it's all about. You know, you are building the sports cars. That's the MEV. That looks like at the NEC. A picture to me from there.
That's it.
Tells you all about the project. You've got about 35 students, I think it is.
We've got 35, and a large proportion of that is girls. I think there's 15 girls on board as well.
Brilliant.
And they take it really, really seriously. They're really, really good at they actually sometimes take it a bit more seriously than the boys and really get things done quite well. I'm really impressed.
There's a nice group shot there as well. As I say, you don't need. There's great updates on here as well. If you want to look at the updates, you've got updates coming through. You know, so do go and have a look. Go and have a look at this fundraiser. But it's not. I think you've said it here in this bit. It's not all about the money. If people can lend time, or even if they've got parts.
That's it. So like we've got. I mean, we need, for example, for the MX-5, it'll need a timing belt kit. It potentially may need a clutch kit. So the students will they've got to strip the gearbox off the engine in the coming weeks, and then we can inspect the clutch and see if it needs a new clutch. So there's all those sort of things as well, where companies can support us by just saying, well, we've got these parts. If they do them at cost price, that would also really, really help. Or sort of a discounted rate as well, as if they can't. I know times are tough with money, but any support we could have for that would be fantastic.
This is why I was kind of like reaching out to the kit car groups, because loads of people, MX-5s are 10 to a dozen. Loads of people must have some spare parts in the back of their shed or back of their garage that they're not using. Probably never going to do anything. So just donate them. As you say, I know you're going to Kit Fest as well. That stand has been sponsored, so you've got a free stand.
That's great.
I bet the students will be over the moon to go to that, won't they?
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I've spoken to them already. Now with 35 of them, we're not going to. Minibus has got 12 seats, so we're gonna have to draw straws or something. But so they
Coventry. You're in Coventry. Coventry to St. Pod's a bit of a jaunt. A couple of hours probably.
Potentially just over an hour, maybe. I don't know. Hour depends on traffic, I suppose.
Well,
hour and a half.
Yeah, it's not the Pogs in the middle of nowhere. Great place, great place. But the students are going to love it. I'm not going to, I'm not going to give them any hints, but on the Sunday it's the fast show that will be there. So that's probably one of the better days to go for. Saturday is more run what you brung. So if you want to take your car and race it down the track, I know yours won't be ready. That is the day to go if you want to race your car down the track, and anybody can take part. Sunday's
I definitely want to bring the red MX-5 with the V6 swap. Definitely want to bring that. So that'll be Saturday. So I've got some colleagues. I've had a chat with them already, and I said, I'm happy to drive the minibus on Sunday, but Saturday I need one of you to drive the minibus because I'll be there in the red MX-5. So
yeah.
So it should be great.
Yeah, but a great event. Hopefully the weather. Well, it's always weather dependent, but you can camp over. But with 35 students, that's going to be quite expensive. A lot of tents. Do you know what I mean? So
the logistics. We'll do two day trips with them. I think would be ideal. Two different groups, so then they both get to experience it. So sort of share the numbers out.
Yeah, and they'll be able to see a complete mix of kit cars as well. Yeah. But not only that, there's certainly on the Sunday there's going to be the Terry Grant stunt show with motorbike stunts.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Car shows, car stunts, but then you get the jet cars as well.
Going down the drag strip.
Yeah, the rocket. Oh, wow. They should be there as well. They're hitting 300 miles an hour in a quarter of a mile.
Quarter of a mile.
Just phenomenal. There is a kit car parade lap as well, which would be that's part of the Northwest Kit Car Owners Group, with the only group allowed to do a parade lap at the moment. Well, there's a lot of issues behind that we have to sort out, but there will be some parade laps. So maybe some of your students could hitch a ride in some of the kit cars that we do in the parade lap.
We'll have a look at that. That could be good.
Yeah. It's a great weekend. And the other thing as well, I mean, obviously, students, they'll probably bring a packed lunch. Or I know when I was a student or at school, I'll bring a packed lunch. But actually, the food prices are very reasonable at Santa Pod as well.
All right. Yeah, we tend to we look after the students, and we plan those sort of trips quite well when we know we're going to be out for a full day. So we'll. If you say the food is good and well priced, then we'll definitely take that into
it's an option.
Our planning process. Yeah,
definitely an option. Yeah, and there's loads of places. To get anything from your normal sort of burger and chips and that kind of thing. But there's lots of options, even vegan options and stuff like that. So Santa Pod's a great venue. The only thing is there's nowhere if it starts raining. There's nowhere really to get on the cover.
Right, so I need to make sure we've got a waterproof gazebo above the kit then. And we
can
push in under the gazebo,
But
the rain gods will be on our side though, I'm sure.
Well, we've been I think there's one year where it wasn't particularly very great. It wasn't shutting it down, but it wasn't great, let's put it that way. But still had a great turnout. And obviously the diehards will be there, the diehard because it's not just about kit cars. I mean, modified cars, the normal dragster cars, and what might be interesting as well for the students is when you see some of these nitro cars going down the track, they make a phenomenal noise. There should be some there, hopefully. Once they've done a quarter of a mile run, the engine has to be rebuilt, and you can actually get really close up to them, like stand next to them and watch them as they strip the car down, take everything off. Inspect all the bottom end, the pistons, everything, put it back together, and they do it within an hour and a half,
and then they're ready for the next run.
Ready for the next run, And it's phenomenal.
Phenomenal. The students will enjoy seeing that. I've got a few of the lads in mind straight away when you said that they'll be there looking over their shoulders, seeing what they're doing. Those are the top fuel dragsters, are they?
Top fuel. Hopefully there might not be. Don't get me wrong. There might not be some top fuel dragsters. There will definitely be some V8 dragsters there. Let's put it that way. And the old school ones where the massive long nose and almost like pram wheels on the front
and huge big wheels on the back.
Huge big wheels. And do tell them to watch because you can get quite close on the start line. Don't go I mean, you can if you've got permission. Don't go wandering about on the start line. But in the stands, you can, right by the start on the right hand side, you can get so close you can actually see the wheels. And when these dragsters turn up, the wheels look flat. They look flat at the bottom.
Like the sidewalls just deflect, don't they?
Yeah, as soon as they start spinning, the tyres go bump like that. And I was talking to one of them as well, because that changes all the gear differential. If you think about it, it changes all the differential and gearing and everything. So it's just well, I won't bore you with the details, but
it sounds like a great experience.
They will get chance to go and speak to all these people, and don't be afraid. The students, if students want to walk up to a person that's working on his car, just ask them a silly question. More than happy to answer you. Great friendly bunch of people at Santa Pod. Can't wait.
Yeah, the guys I've typically come across in the car fraternity. I was in the model airplane one before this, and great bunch of guys, but it was pretty much in a club. Whereas with the cars, it's just such a broad spectrum, isn't it, of different vehicles and different people, and everyone I come across is so welcoming. Normally, we've got planned for early next year as well to get some of these students across to the auto solos I do, and actually get them passengering in cars that are going on the live track and competing in the auto solos. So, but yeah, the permissions and legal side, that's another whole kettle of fish, which is why we're not doing any now. It takes it's months in planning to get that all those bits sorted. So we've got plans to get them. So we want to get the students not just seeing the cars in a workshop at school, but actually out onto the track and actually seeing the cars being used and raced and driven as well.
Absolutely. We had the same thing when we were trying to organise the parade lap, because it had never been done at Santa Pod, and it took us a while, but we got there in the end. And as you say, the legalities and insurance. One thing that is happening at Santa Pod, and that'll be on both days, possibly not on the Friday, because it is kind of like a 3-day. They've let us in on the Friday now. Certainly on the Saturday and Sunday is the drift show. Which is drift cars, which is, as you go into Santa Pod, it'd be on the top left, which most people miss, to be honest. Great to watch because they're drifting these cars out. But like last year, if you want to pay extra and go for a passenger ride in a drift car, you can. So the students, if they want to go out in a drift car, just film it. And I got talking to what else I do at most kit car shows or car shows or whatever. I got talking to a lot of the guys there, and I didn't know. You know, when you see them, all the smoke coming off the back of the tyres. They run different rubber on the back that are specifically designed to create a lot of smoke. I didn't know this. It's just a daft question. I said to one of the guys, "How come you get so much smoke out of the back of your tyre?" He said, "Well, we run different tyres." I said, "What do you mean?" I said, we run this grade of tyre, and it never crossed my mind.
I know in America, some of the guys that are some of the channels I follow, some of the American channels on YouTube, they even have one of the guys, they somehow do it, but it gives off red and blue smoke. So they then have the red, blue, and white for the American flag. So with the July stuff, they actually get all these colors. Yeah. So I didn't realize that until I thought, how is that possible? But yeah, they do something with the compound of the rubber and put dyes and things into it. Yeah, it's fascinating.
But as you say, it never dawned on me. It's only when I asked the guy, I thought, how come you tyre smoke so much? And then he explained it. I said, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, got it.
And it makes for good drama, the smoke, as they're drifting them around too, doesn't it? I mean, if they didn't have clouds of smoke pouring off them, it wouldn't be as dramatic.
No, I wouldn't say it'd be a bit boring. We had they often run two of them side by side, and the whole thing about it is it's almost like a show lap. It's not who wins.
Like synchronized swimming. It's great, isn't it?
Well, it was. Yeah, you see these two cars drifting in complete. You know, the drivers obviously know what they're doing, and they are so close together, but they're drifting almost in harmony.
Yeah.
But yeah, synchronized swimming, synchronized drifting.
You've got to trust your friend next to you.
Well, exactly. Yeah. There was, when you look at some of the cars after the weekend, you can definitely see that a few of them had a couple of dinks.
Front and rear quarters.
Yeah, well, exactly. Front and rear quarters. Yeah, brilliant. And just brilliant to watch. And again, you can get really quite close to them. Obviously, don't go wandering on the track because you'll just get thrown out. But you can wander up again. You can wander up in the pits go and talk to the guys, go and meet them. And as I say, if students want to go out for a drift lap, pay the driver some money. And I think the money all goes to charity again as well. Brilliant weekend.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. So that's kind of our target. So at the minute we're still in the sort of sandblasting, cleaning up bits on the car. So the subframes are going to sandblasting this coming week. The wishbones, I've stripped an MX-5 over Christmas at home. That car I bought specifically as a parts car for my own low cost, but the previous owner had stripped all the wishbones off, had them all sandblasted, powder coated, and then put Super Pro bushes in them. So he put £600 worth of bushes into this car, but didn't do all the bodywork. So when it came to the bodywork, it landed up becoming a project for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Brand new coilovers and all sorts on it. So he bolted loads of nice bits to it, which I'll have for myself. But these extra bits, because we've got the school's donor car, but this was another car I bought personally. But instead of having to pay somebody to sandblast and powder coat wishbones and buy bushes, these are on this car that I don't use them on the low cost because they've got their own wishbone design and everything else. So that was quite that was quite a bonus, a few £100 worth saved, which is quite nice. So that does help in the sort of sense of freeing up funds for other parts of the build, like these sort of harnesses, bucket seats, things like that. So. We're awaiting a set of a rebuild kit for the brakes. Spoke to a guy at one of the MX-5 suppliers in the UK. So they do all sorts of racing bits and things for MX-5. So that should hopefully arrive in the post in the next few days. So it's those sort of small things that keep trickling in. If anyone does ever want to support, they're more than happy to jump on our GoFundMe and give us a $5 would be great.
Yeah, and as I say, definitely go and have a look at the GoFundMe site. You're 2/3 of the way there. You only want £3,000. But the other thing is the parts and time. If people are local to where you are and can pop in and do a bit of spanner work, or if you've got some parts. I know because you were looking at how to get to Kitfest, and you've got a local firm that's sponsored you, and they've given you the use of a trailer, for instance. Just simple things like that.
Small things like that they help a lot. So I'll be, now that we've got a date for the diary, we'll be in touch with them and then get that booked in with them, so we can get the kit car moved. So there's no pressure like a deadline to get the car rolling, so we can get onto basically get brake lines and fuel lines attached, get the floor attached, get the subframes and things bolted on, and get wheels and get it rolling, steering rack and steering column and stuff, so the car can at least start looking like a car. So 4th to the 6th of April. So we've got a few busy weeks ahead of us.
It'd be brilliant. It'd be great to see you at Kitfest as well. So looking forward to it. Right then, Peter, shall we call it a wrap? It's been brilliant speaking to you.
Yes, it has been a grerait pleasure. Love talking cars. So.
Well, we're talking cars, but talking car simulators and aeroplanes and
everything else.
Everything else that you've built. Yeah. So absolutely brilliant speaking to you.
Likewise, thank you.
Absolutely not a problem. I won't say goodbye. I'll just be seeing you.
Yep. Cheers. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the video.
Yeah. Thank you.